The first step to finding the cost calculator is logging in to stallstv.com. Registration is free and only takes a few moments. Once logged in, you'll want to click on the Resources tab in the top navigation. There are many resources available from stallstv.com. In this case, we're going to download the Ultimate CAD CUT Cost Calculator by clicking on it. It will bring us to a product page and we simply click Download. When logged in, the download is free, and in this case it'll download right to our bottom toolbar where I'll open the application. Once it's downloaded, I'll save it to my computer for recalling and using later. This is going to help you calculate cost of not only what it takes to produce the job from a cost of materials, but also will help you to manage your production time and how many yards you'll need to calculate for doing a particular job. So, when you open it, you need to complete steps 1 through 3 by inputting data into the yellow highlighted cells. If we go down the left-hand side of the screen, I'll see the shop info is step 1. I'll start by entering my shop's overhead percentage. If you need help calculating this for your shop, you can watch other tutorial videos on stallstv.com that walks you through the process of calculating an overhead rate or percentage for your shop. In this case, we're going to use 15% as the particular shop's overhead percentage. Next, I want to input the hourly rate paid to the heat press employee that's going to be completing applications for my store. In this case, we're going to pay that employee $10.50 per hour. Next, input the rate for the weeding employee, the person that's going to be cleaning up the designs and preparing them for application. In this case, we're going to utilize the same rate. Now, if you're a small business with only a couple people that are operating, that are employees, you want to make sure that you're paying for the actual function that they're completing to do the job. So while you may reward yourself a certain pay for marketing and finance and sales tasks, you want to make sure that the rate that you pay yourself for heat pressing or weeding is proportionate to what you would pay when you go to hire. That way we can accurately calculate costs for the job. Next, you want to save this with all of your step 1 info completed so you can reopen it and enter job-specific info in step 2. The first thing in step 2 is the total number of cut designs per garment. Now, the particular example that we're using today only has 1 cut design per garment. It just has a single color, a front application placement. So we'll enter 1. Now, if there were an additional placement on the sleeve or back of this print, or perhaps even a second color, we want to increase the total number of cut designs based on unique placements or unique applications that are going to happen at the heat press with numbers of colors. Next, I want to put the average time to weed each cut design in minutes. So in this case, I'm going to estimate that this design would take approximately 2 minutes to weed and prepare for application. So I'll input a 2. Next, I need to calculate the average time to heat press each design. With loading and placing my graphic and pressing it, I'm estimating that it will take me about a minute a shirt to heat press this 1 color design across the full front of the shirt. At this point, the other job-specific info has to do with the cost of the blank garment or the item that I'm decorating. In this case, this particular garment cost me $3.49 at the 50 quantity piece that I'm ordering. So make sure you input the total number of garments or items sold for the job as well. Now you'll notice the calculator on the job info in step 2 is also calculating my production time. So it's instantly telling me based on those input fields that I'll need to budget 1.67 hours for weeding and 0.83 hours for heat press time. So I should be fair to budget 2.5 hours of total production labor for the entire job. And that will help you quote turn times and allocate labor throughout the process. Now, to get down to actually yards needed and cost, I'll need to enter the design dimensions in step 3 of the process. So I want to make sure I enter design dimensions for each particular placement. In this case, it's simple. It's a single step placement that's an 8x10 graphic. So I'm going to punch in 8 inches for the width and 10 inches for the length or the height, which ultimately will instantly calculate how many yards I'll need as well to complete the job. You see, if this is a 20-inch material like I know Glitter Flake is, it will take me 12.5 yards to complete this job. Now, knowing what I know about Glitter Flake and it being 20 inches wide, 8x10 may not be the best width and height for nesting up jobs. So you can easily change this as well, and it will calculate new yardage needed. So if I want to mess around and say, what if it was only 9.5 tall, it may change that dimension. Now, it is factoring in a bit of a gutter for the pinch rollers and waste, so you'll want to play around with this number a bit till you can get the most efficient material utilization, as long as the customer is not particular about the sizing of the design. So you notice by a simple input, I'm able to change and get it down to 6.25 yards needed for the job. That's a little bit about steps 1 through 3 of the process. With all of this info completed, the calculator is able to tell you how much it's going to cost at each part of the process for your business, ultimately kicking out a total job cost by material type. So if I look on the right-hand side of my screen, I can see that if this were in Glitterflake, which is the sample we have displayed here for you, I would have $1.34 in material cost, 18 cents in heat press costs, 35 cents in weeding cost, 80 cents in overhead, of course my garment cost, for a total per piece cost of $6.15. Multiplied by the 50 pieces in my job, I know I can complete this factoring in all of my costs for just under $308. I can also look across the material chart and see how much this would cost if the customer switched to a basic finish, or if they switch to a higher end finish such as reflective. So it's very easy to quote multiple finishes instantly with this calculator to give your customer a good, better, best scenario in choice when they're getting ready to purchase the job. Ultimately, setting the selling price is going to be up for you. This calculator will not calculate a selling price for you. It's up to you to take the cost and establish that in your business. And we ultimately have many tutorials on setting selling prices utilizing different strategies such as minimum profit per piece, keystoning, etc., market pricing over on stallstv.com. Hopefully this cost calculator will help you accurately capture the costs involved with producing jobs with heat transfer film and allow you to run a more profitable business. Thanks for watching.